Not long ago, we introduced you to Switchbot, a company that has a bunch of smart devices that work well and are pretty affordable. We looked at the Switchbot Bot, curtain, solar panel, hub mini, meter, and remote. And this time around, the company hooked us up with a bunch of new products, one of which being their contact sensor. Unlike other smart sensors, this one reacts to a magnetic trigger on both sides, so it works best installed on the entry door or windows. Sense when your door or window open and close. Two components stand in line with a detection range of up to 5 meters, 90 degrees horizontally and 55 degrees vertically. The magnet part needs to be aligned with the bottom of its main body, and the distance between the two components should be less than 30 millimeters. The Switchbot contact sensor is a Bluetooth device, just like the Switchbot motion sensor. But while this type of devices are not the best for home automations, they can work without a hub, and this one takes full advantage of the Switchbot API when paired with the Switchbot hub. If you mix the two together, you get a lot of features from a seemingly simple device. The Switchbot contact sensor comes packed in the brand-specific white and red packaging. On the front, we have a graphical representation of the contact sensor, and on the bottom, we have a list of compatible services, which includes pretty much all the big players in the market. On the back, we have a small description of the sensor and some examples of the automations you can create within the Switchbot ecosystem. By combining the sensor with the Switchbot motion sensor, the Switchbot hub mini, the Switchbot bot, or Switchbot curtain. Inside the box, we find the two parts of the contact sensor, AAA batteries, and one-sided 3M tape for easy mounting and the installation manual. The Switchbot contact sensor is not the smallest door sensor you've seen. While the magnet is standard size, the sensor itself is 70.5 by 25.5 by 23 millimeters, making it huge by current door sensor standards. The sensor itself is built from high-quality plastic, and the front has rounded corners, rectangle-shaped button, and an LED light that shows the status. On the back, there's a back panel that easily opens to put in two AAA batteries, and it also holds the 3M double-sided tape. To install the sensor, you'll need the Switchbot application, which is available on Android and iOS. If you don't have an account, you will need to create one. Once you have the application installed, you need to install the sensor where you want it to stay. The sensor is designed for 3 default installations: on the door, on the window, or on furniture with doors, closets and such. We opted to install it on the house door, and since the technical spec says it works within 30mm, we opted for a normal frame install. First thing to do is install the batteries. The back panel has a cover which is easy to remove, and you don't need any tools to open or close it. In 1 minute or less, you're ready to add the Switchbot contact sensor to the application. From the application, hit the plus button, and you should have the contact sensor in the list at the very top of the screen. If you do not see it there, you can select it from the list. The application will guide you through the installation process. You must long press the button on the top of the device until the LED indicator starts flashing and click Next. You will be prompted to give the sensor a name, and you're done. Everything takes 30 seconds, so basically you can have the sensor installed in 5 minutes or less from the moment you get it from the courier. Once added, the app displays the status of the sensor on the main page. If you have a Switchbot hub, you can connect the sensor through it and enable its true capabilities. The app will ask you where you want to place the sensor, and based on your choice, it'll give you instructions to install it in place. Here's where our problem started. Since we have a steel entry door, the frame is a bit thicker and there's a bit of a gap between the margin of the door and the left and right frame limits. The gap is exactly 30mm, and the sensor had trouble sensing when the door was opened and closed. That being said, I had to move the sensor to the top of the door, where the distance between the door itself and the frame is a lot smaller. So with this little inconvenience, I still managed to get the sensor to work properly. One thing to look for after you have added the contact sensor to the Switchbot app is the firmware version update. If there is an updated version available, you should definitely download it, as it will enhance the features. Just like the motion sensor, the Switchbot contact sensor actually has a lot of features, such as luminosity sensor, which senses both bright and dim conditions. Moreover, if you press the button on the sensor after opening the door, it will function as a set alarm trigger, notifying the smart system that you are leaving the house. This action can trigger custom scenes. Once you have selected the setting you need, it's time to play with the sensor. Paired up with the Switchbot hub, the Switchbot contact sensor can be integrated in the Scenes panel. Within the Switchbot ecosystem, you can take advantage of the included sensors and you can create scenes based on them. You have 3 options, based on which you can add triggers that can activate other devices from your Switchbot ecosystem. Contact, which itself has 5 options: exit home, enter home, opened, closed, or left open. Motion detection, or no motion detected for a period of time, and ambient brightness level. For example, if the sensor detects leaving home, the hub can command the camera to be turned on and enable notifications if movement is sensed or the door is opened. Also, if the sensor detects motion, it can command the lights to turn on, or it can command your camera to record. Every scene is executed within seconds after triggering, which is extremely useful. To take things further, the Switchbot contact sensor takes advantage of the more powerful third-party integrations. It works flawlessly with Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, and Samsung SmartThings. Within the Alexa app, you can use the sensor detection skills to trigger any other associated app or function. Adding the sensor to our Google Assistant gives us the possibility to receive notifications on your Google devices, but nothing more, so not much is added to the table. Everything changes when you add it to Samsung SmartThings though. If you're like me and have a bunch of products from a bunch of smart providers, controlling them can be hard. I have Alexas in some rooms, Google in others, and Samsung SmartThings to link what's left in between. Within the Samsung Hub, I set routines that will trigger when I leave home, for example. The greatest feature was that I could control both Switchbot products, light bulb. but also other products as well, smart wall plugs and smart wall switches from other providers. Now, when I leave home, all my lights will turn off and my security devices will turn themselves on if they were not set to this stance previously. The Switchbot contact sensor is easy to use, install, packs a lot of features, is battery operated, works lightning fast, is very reliable, and packs a lot of features in a small device, which is also very affordable. The only issue that I had with it was the magnetic contact distance, which seems to be smaller than advertised. The sensor integrates in any smart setup you might have at home and fills the needed hole in any automation system, making it very versatile. Combined with the Switchbot hub, it works flawlessly.